Hey there, welcome to C&T Collectibles. I am C, and welcome to Mail Day. We're going to continue to mail it in, and what better way to do that than with a Mail Day. Got our Lego Mail Day thing right there that wouldn't fit on screen, but that's how it goes sometimes here. So I don't buy the fanciest things in the world. I'm just trying to have some fun, and if you're like me, then maybe this will give you a few thoughts on a couple of guys that I'm buying. Maybe you like them too, but otherwise just enjoy sharing it here. So we'll start off a little bit of pop culture, Star Wars stuff, and then we'll get into some sports cards. Yeah, we got a decent stuff here. I haven't done one of these for a while, and just tried to. I'm not going to show everything or whatever. Just a few things that I've enjoyed picking up here. And we'll start off with the 2012 Star Wars Galaxy, and these are the gold versions, and there was 10 of them. All right, and they're numbered to 600, and so they're a little trickier to find. And so the ones that I want, I was able to pick up here. So we've got the Luke, the Greedo, the Han, the Leia, and that's a very iconic Boba Fett modern image of him. And so happy to get those. Maybe I'll try and get the other ones at some point here. But again, they're a little bit trickier to find. So, but they're not crazy expensive or anything like that. And so grabbed a Billy D. Williams, also a Star Wars Stellar signature. Just a great image. I think those cards are just beautiful looking. Nice on-card autograph. And to get a Billy D, I've got a couple of them, but I just thought on that card was a nice pickup. And then talking on the forums one night, and someone was talking about Pop Century. I'm like, oh my gosh, these are great. And so why wouldn't you get a Fonzie? So I had to get a Henry Winkler. And to wrap up some of the pop culture, I got the three Hanson brothers from Slapshot. I think I showed that on AIH's stream here, but a little closer look at it. So nice on Carados of the Hanson brothers. Two of them were actually Carlson. It was supposed to be the Carlson brothers, but one of them got called up to play in the NHL, and so they had to bring in one of their teammates, Dave Hansen, and then they changed it to Hanson Brothers for the movie here. So, and then I needed to. I thought that was just a fun card. I needed to add like $10 to an order to get free shipping, and so I saw that. I'm like, well, why wouldn't I want that card? So, if you want a nice Michael Jordan Harry Carey card for very cheap, there it is here. So, all right, a little bit of speculation. This is the 93 Topps traded Todd Helton. You can get that for like $20, and I think that guy is getting into the Hall of Fame. He's exceeded 50% of the vote. When you do that, you make the Hall of Fame. The only exception was Gil Hodges, and he got in last year. So that's the kind of speculation that I like. I'll buy a Hall of Famer for $20 rather than spend a couple hundred on a guy that's just getting started. So another guy that we were talking on the forums, and it's like, well, gosh, Garrett Cole, he compares extremely favorably to some of the guys that are in. You could look at Scherzer and Verlander and Greinke. And I think if you threw all their numbers up right next to each other, and we did throw it, without the names, it's like, wow, he really compares pretty well here. So he's got to keep it going. But his stuff is relatively cheap, kind of out of sight, out of mind. So Rafi Devers and other players having a terrific season, just a little bit out of sight, out of mind. And I like him. He's on an interesting longer term path, and so that's the blue out of 150. And again, pretty relatively cheap entertainment if you're willing to go the raw route. But yeah, he's on an interesting trajectory. So there's a long way to go. But guys coming up at 25 that are lighting it up, and they've got 3 or 4 WAR or something like that. It's like, I'll take Rafi in his 15 at this point. He came up early and got a good start. Another pitcher that is really off to Cy Young last year, and he's really keeping it going. You won't get it again this year, but gosh, he looks terrific. This could be a nice again longer term play as that. Corbin Burns. That's the foil board version here. So I got a few homer picks here. And we'll start off with Joe Ryan is really pitching well for the Twins here. That's his first Bowman. So nice on-card autograph. And then I'm having a lot of fun with these, the Topps Chrome Platinum. And you can get a lot of really great autographs for pretty cheap here. So here's some Twins Hall of Famers, Burt Blyleven, and none of these are that expensive, under $20 for the most part here. Tony O, the kitty cat who just got in, and that's very, very deserved for sure. Kent Herbeck and Frankie Sweet Music Viola, and then a couple of the big dogs here. But sure, like my Joe Mauer, you want to pair him with Rod Carew. I'm all on board with that one here. And so to wrap up the Minnesota centric type of thing here, we're looking at the Purple People Eaters, and so we've got Alan Page, Carl Eller, Gary Larson, and the mighty Jim Marshall. So happy to grab those guys. All right. When I do speculation, it's not necessarily the young guys, but it's more like the guys that have proven themselves and maybe more on the fence. And so Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod, this is his 2000 or something, like 2001 autograph rookie card. And if you look at his numbers, he's fourth all time in saves. And if guys like Craig Kimbrell and Kenley Jansen are getting in, then Francisco Rodriguez has probably got to be on that short list as well. So there's not a lot of reliever Hall of Famers in the Hall of Fame. So, or excuse me, relievers in the Hall of Fame. But if again, if you look at Kenley and Kimbrell, then K-Rod's got to be in as well. So on the other side, he compares very favorably to Joe Nathan, who didn't get 5% of the vote this year and got bounced quickly. So that could work out really well, or it could not work out at all. So I can't get into the minds of Hall of Fame voters when it comes to relievers. But here's a guy that is on a very interesting track. I would say for younger players under 30, he's on one of the best tracks. He and Machado really are the well, obviously Trout, Mookie, Harper, but outside of that, Machado and Lindor. And this is his 2010 Team USA first refractor. Those are numbered out as something. So 199. So I still like Lindor. He's having a terrific season, and his prices really aren't reflecting it. So I will happily zig when others want to zag. Here is a Hall of Famer, one of my favorite players growing up, and so I get that nice Tony Gwynn on-card autograph. Happy to have that one. Another speculation play, a couple of, well, one's not so much speculation, but Andrew Jones, this is his Bowman refractor. It was a little bit harder to come by. And we know the story, up until age 31, this was a definite Hall of Famer, and they just dropped off a cliff. So just things didn't go his way. Just the defense went away. But Willie Mays said this is the best defensive center fielder that he's ever seen. So if you do something generational, you're probably in. He's in his fifth year on the ballot. He's got about 50% of the vote. So there's a chance there. You look at the guys ahead of him. It's like he's got as good a shot as anybody if he can start to creep up over 50% in the next few years. We could see something out of there. So again, he's sitting with the Warriors is commensurate. Everything else, the Gold Gloves are there, but everything else, it is on the fence. It's a bit of a risk. It's reflected in his price. Unlike this guy right here. So that was again the refractor, and this is going to be your inner circle type Hall of Fame player. So you've got Brooks Robinson, and I'm trying to think of a couple other third baseman. And honestly, I think I might have shown him before. I don't know. I haven't done a mail day for a while, and he just happened to be in this pile. So it's like, all right, whatever. So, all right, another kind of a spec play. This is a player that I enjoy collecting, and he's having a great season here. He's got 137 weighted runs created, and he's hitting the ball well. He's got a minuscule strikeout rate, walks more than he strikes out, and this is this year, and this is what he did back in 2017 and 2018. And so he's really found his groove. So really 2020, everybody had a shortened season. In 2021, he was injured, but outside of that, the guys he had a couple 8-win seasons, and he was a 4 or 5 wins, player the last couple of years here. So his Hall of Fame track is very similar to Rafi Devers, honestly. So if you think Rafi's got a decent shot, then Bregman is, and Bregman's about a third of the price of Rafi Devers right now. So I think there's some relative value to be had on that one. So we'll see how it works out. Again, his prices continue to make new lows, and so it's like, well, maybe not catching it at the bottom, but it's like, all right, well, what the heck? Let's have some fun with it here. So, last couple here. This looks really, really nice. I can't tell the difference between 8.5 or 9 and 9.5 on any of these. I mean, there's no whiting. I mean, maybe there's centering, which I can never tell in these 2018s. But Acuna, he's starting to play a little bit better. Yeah, again, coming up early, producing. He's starting to get his legs underneath him a little bit, and I'm gonna start to buy some of those Acuna cards that I've wanted. And the Soto dip before he heated up, this is where kind of got this one here. I think these are limited, $269 or something like that, is the lenticular, the 3D. So not too many of those out there. And again, this was about as cheap as I had seen in a few years. It's a card I've wanted, and that softness that we saw a couple months ago, it's like, all right, now's the time. And then lastly, I've always wanted the chrome version of that card. And his Hall of Fame credentials, they're not in doubt or anything like that. I mean, he's in, but is he going to be that inner ring? He's going to be that all-time great. That is in doubt here, and so I think there's a lot of question. The high end getting smoked. Everything's getting rocked across the board, but I think at the same time, it's like, all right, here is a Hall of Famer. And maybe it's I don't know if it's the bottom or not, but it's like, all right, it's at least getting to a point where it's like, if you're willing to get something in a reasonable, collector grade, not investor grade, it's like, yeah, it seems like a pretty decent time to go ahead and do that. So that's what I got for you. Again, we'll get back at the things in the next in the near future here, but wanted to throw something out while I was out and away, so you don't forget about me too much here. So appreciate you watching, and have a great rest of the day. Bye now.